business with Zelensky in the beginning and take calls from you guys on YouTube and the radio listeners as well. I mean, what's going on with Zelensky is getting beyond dangerous and irresponsible, and it's got to be discussed, guys. It's a big one. So there's some other topics too that I'm going to touch on, but that one is first and foremost the big one of today. I mean, it's outrageous what Zelensky is suggesting, and there's a whole there's this whole spin going on online. Oh no, it's out of context. What he said's out of context. That's total BS. I'm not going to get bogged down in playing some 10-minute discussion so people lose sight of what they said what he said. You know, I say they said what he said because the translator was translating him. I'm surprised they haven't attacked the translator translating into English yet. All right. We have just a short time. We're getting ready to go. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everyone like the video. All right, here we go. Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian. It is Thursday morning already. Can you believe it? Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about on the program today. I'm going to talk about Zelensky's outrageous comments. And, well, let me just play them first, and then I'm going to talk about them and tell you why I'm talking about them, because it's very important what's going on. This is Zelensky. You'll hear the voice of his translator, okay, his lady translator, because he speaks Ukrainian, of course. Here we go.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war. And they will have to fight because it's nature that we're talking about. And they will be dying, God forbid, because it's a horrible thing.
Okay, yeah. So there's Zelensky saying that the United States, we're going to have to send our young men and women to die in Ukraine. Now, listen. Now, I served in the military for the same amount of time as Presidents Clinton and Obama, all right? And Biden, for that matter. So, yeah, I have 3 times their military service, their individual military service. But I do believe, if you don't get that, you're probably a liberal. I do believe that when you send soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors into a combat zone, you don't send them there to die. You might send them there to fight. You might send them somewhere to defend. You might send our military somewhere to attack, but you don't send our military somewhere to die, okay? This is not the kamikaze era of the Second World War and the Japanese. Just a very bizarre comment. But there's a very important reason that I'm sharing this with you. This comment was made the day before yesterday. And he said what he said. And yesterday, a lot of people were upset about this, as am I, and you should be upset about this. This is a very dangerous time. We have the most corrupt man to ever be president of the United States in Joe Biden. And he's all in on Ukraine because that's where he and his family make their money. Well, at least a lot of it. They got all kinds of crooked deals going on. And the Biden regime is willing to get us involved in a major European war, the Third World War, because, well, they're a bunch of bums and they make money off of it. They are war profiteers, or at least they're willing to be war profiteers. Okay. The reason I bring this up today is what is being done by the left and by the media and the corporate media and the Republican establishment on this. They're telling us that his comments were taken out of context. Even on Twitter, let me see if I can pull this up, because on Twitter, this really burned me. Hey, listen, no one's a bigger fan of the richest African American, Elon Musk, than I am. But Twitter has been putting warning labels on that Zelenskyy video that I pulled the audio from that I just played for you. I can't find it right now. I'll look it up during the break. They've been putting warning labels on Elon Musk's Twitter on that video clip. And they got the fact checkers. Fact checkers. Here's a fact. Fact checkers are liberal liars, okay? That's a fact. I fact check that. They're telling us that Zelenskyy's comments were taken out of context. And then they put up a response that is about a 10-minute long exchange between Zelenskyy and some snobbish, self-important, intellectual wannabe reporter. It is not out of context. It is very much in context. It's one clip on a very long, boring pontification from Zelenskyy. The reporter asked if the United States stops supporting Ukraine, what'll happen? And he says, well, it's NATO's involved in the end. They're going to have to send their sons and daughters to die over here. It's not out of context. It is in context. I'm here to tell you this. If you have a son or daughter in the United States military and their term of enlistment is expiring, do whatever you can do to get them to leave and not re-enlist. If you have a child or grandchild that's in college or high school that's thinking about joining the service after graduation, do whatever it is you can do to stop them from joining the service. All right? I'm telling you, I am as serious as a heart attack. I support our military, no doubt about that, and I know you guys do too. But if I had a child who was considering joining the military right now, I would do whatever it is I could do to stop them from doing it. If I had to bribe my child, if I had a son or daughter who was thinking about joining the military, I would buy them a new house, even at inflated real estate prices in Florida. I would buy them a house if it would convince them to not join the service. Now listen, Trump is running, and he is the only person who can stop the United States from getting involved in this third world war. Ron DeSantis cannot do it. Jeb Bush endorsed Ron DeSantis this week. What the heck? Let me tell you, as much as I love Ron DeSantis, hey, we're in Florida. We love Ron DeSantis in Florida. Ron DeSantis does not have the juice to stop this. George W. Bush, a war criminal who lied to the world about weapons of mass destruction. How many millions of people's lives have been destroyed? How many Americans are missing limbs or have parts of their bodies burned beyond recognition? So that lying war criminal who likes to hang out and paint crap that's ugly and no one wants to buy, George Bush, lied about WMDs. He came out and he's supporting our efforts in Ukraine. Are you kidding? All this talk about DeSantis getting the support from the Bush Guard and the Republican establishment is true. It's true. Okay? So if DeSantis, and I want to hear from people on the phones on both sides of this, that we should be involved in Ukraine, that we shouldn't. I want to hear from these never Trumpers. I want to hear from these fake MAGA people that are promoting DeSantis over Trump in 2024 to explain yourselves here. All right. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. See, Donald Trump is so rich, he can't be bought or controlled by donors. That's one of the many reasons they're after him so much. They can't control him. Ron DeSantis doesn't have that luxury. So if Governor DeSantis were to become president, he would be owned by the donors of this war machine that brought us the war in Iraq over the weapons of mass destruction lie. So as much as I will never vote for DeSantis over Trump. There's no doubt about it. Okay, just be clear about that. But if God help us, he became president in 2024, Ron DeSantis, instead of Donald Trump, the war in Ukraine would escalate and would become another multi-year war brought to you by the people behind the Bush administration. Very dangerous times. Only President Trump, who cannot be bought by the military-industrial complex, can stop this. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take our first break of this Thursday morning. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. This is Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. We'll be right back. I'm serious, guys. This is insane. This is insane. I'm sorry. Peace talks. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. My goodness. This is insane what we're going through right now. Welcome, everyone. If you're new to my channel here on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. And everyone who's already subscribed, do me a favor, check and make sure you are subscribed. You know, a lot of people think they're subscribed and they're not, because you watch my videos, they pop up in your recommended feed, but you very well may not be subscribed. And all that helps. The likes, subscribing, all that helps my channel grow. It's evil and insane. It's all of it. I mean, it's just, you know, you can be evil and insane. Yeah. I just swallowed an ice cube. I almost choked, but I saved it. If I choked on a Starbucks ice cube, maybe I'd go viral on YouTube, but would it be worth it? I don't think so. MAGA hat wearing YouTuber chokes on Starbucks ice cube. Oh my goodness. I was getting ready to do a commercial and it's running next, recorded. Oh man. Yes, Trump's fault.
Select Tours invite you on an unforgettable journey to the breathtaking wine country of Portugal on a first-class river cruise sailing down the Douro River from August 23rd through September 2nd.
Oh man.
Awe-inspiring medieval towns, sipping wine from
Bruce, appreciate it. Thanks, Bruce.
Free round-trip airfare to Portugal's capital of Lisbon, which you gotta book by March 31st. Visit BrianPortugal.com to book your trip right now. BrianPortugal.com. This is Lori Kane. When people go to the dentist, they think of the pain, but the biggest pain is the cost. Not with Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental Care. The dental work is painless, and the
Oh man.
too. Call today, 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633. That's 954-922-4633. BrightonDentalCare.com.
A little distorted? Oh, the pot's up too high. Yeah, I see. I just clicked. I see. All right. We are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Oh, man. You know, Ron DeSantis may be owned by the Bush family donors, but he's done some good things here in Florida. There's no doubt about that. And one of the good things he's done is change our insurance laws for those of us that are property owners. If you're a homeowner or you own commercial property, this is an amazing thing. If you have a roof, or maybe you're with the homeowners association, by the way, as well. If you have a roof that's old, it's compromised, it needs repaired or replaced, first thing you want to do is call your insurance company. Right after that, call Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting. Listen to this. Ron DeSantis changed the insurance laws here in Florida. So Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting is now allowed under Florida law to negotiate directly with your insurance company on the cost of the repair or replacement of your roof. This is new. Before, they were not allowed to do that. Either you had to negotiate it with yourself, which good luck with that, or hire an attorney or a public adjuster. And I've been telling you guys, I hired a public adjuster after a hurricane. I needed a new roof. I had problems with the insurance company. It's about 15 years ago. And it took about a year, and a public adjuster got me a settlement from the insurance company, but I had to give him 20% of the settlement. So I had to come up with the other 20% to replace my roof, and it was a lot of money. That so I can easily do the math. If you have a roof that costs $10,000, mine much less than that, of course. But if you had a $10,000 roof and you hire a public adjuster, that means you'd have to give them $2,000. So you'd have to come up with that $2,000 on your own to replace the roof. If you go the route of hiring an attorney, oh my goodness, you might as well not even call. You might as well just pay for it out of your own pocket and not use your insurance. It's crazy, and it takes a long time. Now with this new law, Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting, you call him, he calls your insurance company, he handles everything. You don't have to use a public adjuster or an attorney, and you get your roof repaired or replaced, whichever you need. Now, Tom Laporta covers the entire state of Florida, and of course, he'll never sell you a roof that you do not need. Hear any other roofers say that? They don't. Only Tom Laporta says that. Now, this number rings directly to his cell phone, and Tom Laporta is a good MAGA guy, all right? 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. That's 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about him on the radio. Okay, so Zelensky says that American young men and women are going to have to go and die in Ukraine. Can you imagine? And I'm here to tell you that only Donald Trump can stop this. Biden's going to escalate. He wants to get paid. DeSantis is owned by the military-industrial complex donors. He wouldn't be able to stand up and stop it. It would escalate under DeSantis, too. I'm here to tell you, only Donald Trump could stop this. By the way, if you know, they've got such warmongers in Washington. Is anyone in Washington, anyone in either party, calling for peace talks? You're supposed to have a summit meeting. What happened to that red? Remember they used to have the red phone in the White House that went directly to the Kremlin? Do they still have that? Don't you think that someone in Washington should be calling for peace talks with Putin? Of course. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
Think about this. You know, you're talking about how much of a warmongering thing that Washington, D.C. is and how much they're bought off by the military-industrial complex. Remember when President Trump in his first thing had hired, and we questioned it, he had hired John Bolton. And what was John Bolton famous for? He was in the Bush administration, and he was one of the ones that was promoting the lie about the weapons of mass destruction, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was John Bolton. And we questioned Trump for hiring John Bolton. Well, it ended up that Trump ended up.
Well, I'll tell you, President Trump, he wasn't running for anything back then, but he was opposed to the war in Iraq. You know, I did not realize that Bush and Cheney were evil war criminals. And I backed them and I supported them. I didn't realize. Colin Powell, I knew he was a liberal, but I thought he was a decent guy. You know, his life in the military. Colin Powell went and lied to the UN, knowingly lied to the UN to get us involved in this war. How can you trust the people that brought us Iraq War II to tell us we need to be involved in Ukraine?
Well, look, the Bushes have been war criminals since Prescott Bush. You know, going way back when. Because remember, the dad came up with the OSS, which eventually became the CIA.
That's right. They're a CIA family. And, you know, Bush, the father, was in Dallas, Texas on the day of the Kennedy assassination. A lot of people don't know that. He was in Dallas that day. And, of course, we've got that Ted Cruz connection. to the Bush family and Ted Cruz's father's Lee Harvey Oswald connection. These are some really twisted people. I got an important question to ask you. Callers on hold, stand by the way. Big important question to ask you, Mike from Louisiana. It's been about a week now since you've been sleeping on your My Pillow 2.0. It's buy one, get one free with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at mypillow.com with that cooling technology. How do you like it?
I love it. I mean, it is the best pillow I have ever had. And that includes, I do have two of the older pillows, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's better than that. I mean, look, when we talk about not having to flip the pillow over and not having to toss and turn, hey, you know, I mean, I've always had to flip my pillow over. I've always had to, you know, toss and turn. Now I'm not doing that anymore.
That's great. And you have two of them because the My Pillow 2.0 is buy one, get one free at mypillow.com when you use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, Mike, take care. Wow. Mike's sleeping well. Yeah. You know, my daughter's in town, and I'm going to loan her tonight my Pillow 2.0 so she can experience. I know she's going to love it, and I'm going to order one for her to take home with her. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Let me tell you, we cannot vote for DeSantis. As much as we love DeSantis, I moved from New York down here because he's such a great governor. But as much as we want to vote for DeSantis, they're doing that to take the votes away from Trump.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't see DeSantis. You know, Jeb Bush came out and endorsed DeSantis the other day. Now then he retracted. Well, that wasn't an endorsement, you know. Yeah, it was Jeb. Yeah, it was Jeb. You know, you went to the inauguration of DeSantis, and now you endorsed him. I don't see DeSantis is a good man and he's a great governor, but I don't see him standing up to the military-industrial complex donors.
Not like Trump would. We need DeSantis here in Florida. He's running our state fabulous, fantastic. He's the best governor ever, okay? But we need Trump in office. They're doing this to take the votes away from Trump.
That's right. And only Trump can stop World War III from happening.
And the people have to know that this is all set up, okay? They're going to get all these other people to go against.
Yep.
Whatever you're feeling, whatever they're saying about him, put it to the side, because he's the only president that will stick up and will fight for our country.
That's right.
Takes nothing from the other countries. He's a strong leader. They're scared of him. That's what they are. They're scared of him. And they know they can't pull the crap that they're pulling right now with what we have in office, Sleepy Joe.
Yep. That's right. Well, welcome to Ron DeSantis's free Florida. You're from New York, right?
I'm from Long Island, New York.
Yeah, there was a time when we in Florida didn't welcome New Yorkers, but this new wave of New Yorkers are good people, okay? They're conservatives.
We're all on the Trump train. That's why.
That's right.
All
right.
People that are coming here from New York will vote in red. So, you know what? We're all with you. We're standing back behind Florida.
All right. Take care. Thanks for the call. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number 888-GO-KANE-1. We'll be back right after this break.
Making morning radio great again.
Oh, this is awesome. Hey, guys, make sure you subscribe if you're new. I'll be right back. I had a lot of water this morning, so there's going to be a lot of right backs today. I got to make sure I leave my wireless mic here and not take it to the men's room. Be right back.
Now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. service of Paulette's Kettle Club. Exciting events at PBKC with the $100,000 guaranteed monster multi-flight tournament March 2nd through the 5th. And get tickets for comedian Joe DeVito from the Fentanyl show in the Paddock on March 10th. And the St. Patrick's Day party March 17th. The delicious Irish buffet, live music, and dancers. For tickets and info, go to pbkclub.com.
Yeah, he was. You know who else was in Dallas that day? There were two presidents in Dallas that day, other than, Johnson and Kennedy, future presidents. You know who? Bush 1 and Nixon. They were both in Dallas that day. What are the odds of that? Of all places. No, there's a connection with the Bush family. Yeah, they got some cover story. He wasn't, he was just at an airport, and all this stuff. But I don't know. What are the odds of that? It's true. Now, I don't know. Was Nixon at the Love Field? I don't know. I don't remember what airport he was at. It's been a long time. Now, I'm going to tell the story about Cruz's father in a minute. I'll take another call or two because some of these people have been holding on for a while. And then I'll explain it all to you. Oh, yeah, this is important stuff, guys. Have you all liked the video? I know you haven't. Oh, man. Number 12. That's awesome. How do you know what number you are? Oh, I guess you see the number go up. You mean by which one? When you say what number you are, you mean by the likes? By the way, don't fall for the hype to watch this Amazon show, The Consultant. Okay? Has anyone heard of The Consultant? Don't watch it. The first episode or two will draw you in. It's a one-season show, and it has no ending. And they don't even explain anything. It's bizarre. Do not watch The Consultant. It'll be 8 episodes of wasted time. I watched all 8 episodes. I could not believe the ending. There was no ending. They didn't explain squat. There's all these mysteries. They didn't answer any of the mysteries. It was the worst. The episodes were so good. It was built. I couldn't wait for the reveal. In fact, it was so good. I thought I'm going to order the book on tape. I'm going in a couple weeks. I'm driving to Georgia. I was going to get the book on tape and listen to it in the car. I got a 4-hour drive to Georgia, 4.5 hour, and then 4.5, then 4.5, 5 hours back when I come home. And I thought, I'll get the book. And then I saw how this ended, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a warning on the air about that.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show. Celebrating 45 years on the air.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Isn't that amazing? Yes, it is. And thank you all out there in the listening audience for your support, which makes this the longest running radio show. And of course, your great support for not just this show, but our entire radio station and all of the proud sponsors that we have here on our radio stations. Thank you for supporting them too. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Zelensky said day before yesterday that we have to send American men and women to Ukraine to fight and die. We don't want anyone to die, okay? One thing to fight or defend or to die. My goodness. My goodness. And the media, even Twitter, are telling us it was taken out of context, which is not true. It was 100% in context. And I'm here telling you this morning that this is very dangerous, the situation we're in, and only Trump can stop the Third World War. DeSantis has all of these Republican establishment donors behind him that he would not be able to stand up to. The war in Ukraine, if he were to get the nomination, DeSantis would probably run against war in Ukraine. And as soon as he took the oath of office, he would say, well, now he's got to do it. And, I've reviewed, I've been briefed, and I'm against it, but we're gonna have to do it. He's got Jeb Bush endorsing him. I know, isn't this crazy? Let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
Supporting you since you were in high school.
Pretty much.
Well, the Steve Kane show. Yeah.
That's true.
Okay. First of all, DeSantis, we don't know what his foreign policy is because nobody's asked him. He's also thinking about avoiding CPAC. That's a big deal because President Trump is the keynote speaker on Saturday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a problem here. That's number one. Number two, what Zelensky said was the truth, because I remember when I was in the service, they told us, I remember that in Oakland, the preacher, the priest, whatever, either pastor or priest said, a lot of you guys are not coming home. And we were told that through our training, that we could be killed going to war. So he's being blunt and he's being honest. It's a shock treatment, but it's the truth. And we have a leader in this country that's controlled by, I don't know who, but I can say this: he's weakened this country to the point where we have problems domestically, and now the foreign policy.
Well, let me tell you how corrupt people are. Okay, I'll take it away from the war for a second. Okay, when Obama passed Obamacare and passed a law saying that everyone had to buy health insurance, the insurance companies supported it, and it put a lot of them out of business, right? And the reason insurance companies supported it is because it was a law making it the law that every American had to buy their product, and they sold out their own industry for money. Now what we have in Washington, the military industrial complex donors, and some of these people, like that ball bearing that wore out on the train, the people that make ball bearings want a war because they got to make ball bearings for the war machines. They have so much power and influence in Washington. They figure the people that join the service, they go on the front lines, are just white trailer trash, and it's okay. They didn't go to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia. What else are they going to do? So they don't care. And as long as they're making money, your kids can lose their lives, and they think that's okay. I'm here to tell you, I'm opposed to this so much. If I were in the mindset I am now, as enlightened as I am about how corrupt our government is, and I had a son who was facing the draft during Vietnam, I would have sent him to Canada, Richie. I'm sorry. I would have done it.
I have to say this, but I agree with you. I'm going to tell you.
That's right.
Right now. Yeah, this is out of control. What are the president to get China, North Korea to ally with Russia? So, he has actually brought them close together with his policies. This is an out of control administration, and we are facing big time war. And I think it's coming before the election.
Yeah, and we got it. Let me tell you why. Okay, Richie said he thinks war in Ukraine is coming before the election, and I agree, and I'll tell you why. No president of the United States has lost re-election in time of war. Vietnam doesn't count. That was not a declared war. But also, Nixon won. He won 49 of the 50 states during his re-election, by the way. So no president has lost an election during time of war. And I don't know if that's a coincidence or people don't want to switch gears in time of war. But believe me, the Washington donors know this, and they want a war before the election so they can keep Biden in there because he's doing what they want to do.
Exactly. You know, we have a lot of advisors over there now training soldiers. You know what's going to happen when we start losing them? It's like Vietnam. It's the same darn thing repeating itself. We lost advisors, then they started sending soldiers.
How long into Vietnam? When in Vietnam did they stop calling you guys advisors? Advisors are U.S. service personnel that are in the combat zone, U.S. military. They just don't call them that. They call them advisors as a way to make it seem like it's okay. But they might have been calling our guys over there advisors till the fall of Saigon, for all I know. Wouldn't surprise me.
I can also tell you, you were right about yesterday, by the way. Channel 12, CBS said that was a moral decision on DeSantis throwing Lauren when they mentioned her, throwing that group out. It was a decision made by the mall, not by the DeSantis.
Well, let me tell you, I have taken so much, you know, Laura Loomer is a very good friend of mine and has been for many years, okay? And that's why I was struggling with talking, you know, a good friend of mine and, you know, off the air. So, you know, I don't, you know, throw your friends under the bus, you know. But I took a lot of heat for that show yesterday. I'm still getting nasty comments from people. We don't want to be spreading fake news either. I told you that wasn't a
moral decision, my friend. That was according to CBS, so I don't know what
the local news. Yeah. All right, Richie, take care. Thanks for the call. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you. People are really on me about yesterday's show. I'm sorry. I'm not going to pass along fake news. Let me play the clip again. This is Zelenskyy. Now, the voice you hear is the translator, okay? But it's Zelenskyy talking.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight because it's nature that we're talking about, and they will be dying, God forbid, because it's a horrible thing.
Okay. Now, I often tell you guys, one of the things I do, and people think this is, make fun of me for this, but to find out how things are really going in Ukraine, there's a young guy who's in his mid-20s who lives in Ukraine. He's a YouTuber. Pavlo in Ukraine. Pavlo in Ukraine should love me. I give Pavlo in Ukraine so much publicity for his YouTube channel. And you all should go and watch Pavlo in Ukraine after I'm off the air. Don't do it now. Okay, wait till I'm off the air. But but Pavlo in Ukraine is a man in his mid-20s. He's got this bikini model girlfriend, you know. And I look and see what Pavlo in Ukraine is doing on YouTube because he's in Ukraine to find out what's really going on in Ukraine. And he doesn't seem to be concerned. We're going to send American men and women over there, young men and women, to fight and die. Pavlo's just making YouTube videos. And his most recent video, Pavlo in Ukraine, it was he had someone in his family's birthday. And then he met up with another YouTuber and did a collaboration with another YouTuber with his girlfriend. And I don't see them getting her out of country from the Russian rape gangs. I don't see him. I don't see Pavlo in Ukraine concerned or joining up or enlisting. You know, I just see him living the life of some millennial vlogger. That's about it. You know, he's got a video, is sad, his dog died, his German Shepherd passed away. You know, he's doing collaborations with other YouTubers to try to increase his visibility on the platform and all this stuff. When I see Pavlo in Ukraine evacuate Ukraine or get drafted into the Ukrainian army or put his girlfriend on a train and get her out of the country because the Russian rape gangs I keep hearing about are all over the place, then I'll say, well, there's something going on over there. But I watch Pavlo in Ukraine on YouTube and, you know, doesn't look like much of anything going on so far as concern about a Russian invasion. All right, let's see here. Well, we're coming up against the callers on hold. Stand by. We got a lot of you on hold. Hang in there. Phones are very busy. We're up against our last break of the first hour. Okay, I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. By the way, if you ever miss a portion of the show or miss a day, shame on you guys. All right, we're here from 6 till 9. You should miss a day or a moment. But if you do, Our entire show is uploaded as a podcast on our radio station website each and every day, about an hour after we go off the air, and archived there forever. TrueOldiesFLA.com. TrueOldiesFLA.com. And you can catch every second of the show, even download the show if you want to catch your call or something like that as well. All right, we'll be back after this.
The cold, hard truth.
By the way, guys, you heard Mike in Louisiana loves his MyPillow 2.0 with the cooling technology. Go to MyPillow.com, order your MyPillow 2.0. It's buy one, get one free with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. And remember, you can take advantage of all the specials at MyPillow.com as well as the My Store site with my promo code Kane, Kane, not just the ones I talk about. And there's a lot of great specials there. And when you do that, you're supporting all of the content that I bring you, right? When you use my promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at MyPillow.com, you're supporting my YouTube channel, the radio show, my podcast, my vlog, everything I do. So it's a great way to support me. You're supporting Mike Lindell, of course, and support all the show and everything else. Plus, you get these great MyPillow products, right? Promo code Kane, Kane. Well, thank you, JJ. Oh, man. Let's see, where are we? There we are. Oh, man. This switch I made to iced coffee was very smart. Much better. I really like the iced coffee. Well, the LGBTQ, that's like the whole military now. You forgot the plus, though. You got to add the plus. If you happen to be on hold, hang in there. I'm going to get to all the calls. Phones are very busy today. How many Make America Great Again hats do I have? I have a ton. And there's only 2 that I wear. And I do give away some MAGA hats to people sometimes in the family. But I got a lot of Trump hats. Oh, my goodness. But I don't wear too many of them. I wear them until this is my newest one that I wear, but I usually wear a hat till I wear it out. Then I start on a new one. That's right. Welcome back. If you're on hold, stand by. Phones are very busy today at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Zelensky says we must send our young men and women to Ukraine to die. And I'm telling you, only Donald Trump can stand up to the military-industrial complex donors. Ron DeSantis can't. And I'll go to your calls in just a moment. But first, I want to tell everyone about this incredible cruise offered by Select Tours to Portugal down the Douro River. The cruise is August 23rd through September 2nd. And this is one of those river cruises. You've seen those river cruises on TV. This is amazing. It's limited to just 15 couples. Now, you don't have to be a couple to go. You can go single, but it's limited to just 15 couples, this Douro River cruise in Portugal. If you book before March 31st, free airfare to Lisbon is included, no matter, by the way, where you're flying in from the United States. And also high-speed rail transportation from Lisbon to Porto, which is the port where your luxury riverboat round-trip cruise will begin. Now, Porto in Portugal, this is the beginning of wine country over there. And Porto is where all the port wines come from, at least the best ones in the world, of course. And this river cruise down the Douro River is a lot of things. It is a wine tasting tour because you're going to be sailing down the Douro River through all of these vineyards along the way. And by the way, this is the perfect season to do it, August 23rd through September 2nd. All the grapes are on the vines, and you'll even be sampling grapes right off the vine. And there's also culinary events along the way, fine dining, fine wine. This is a first-class experience that you will remember for the rest of your life. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and tips are included. And this is an incredible, incredible trip in Portugal down the beautiful Douro River. For more information, to request a brochure, go to brianportugal.com, brianportugal.com, or call 512-351-6643. 512-351-6643. That's 512-351-6643, or online, brianportugal.com. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Sandra from Indiana.
Hey, Sandra.
Hey, I just have a few comments. Your Pablo fellow, who's to say he's really in Ukraine?
Oh no, he's in Ukraine. I've been watching him since the conflict started. He's in Ukraine. He's really there, and he goes all over the place. I love it when he goes to Kyiv, and I see the it looks like I don't know if it's Starbucks or Ukrainian ripoff, but I see people walking around with their lattes.
Another thing, I don't believe our men and women should go to Ukraine to help fight in this. I think the countries that are over in that part of the continent need to send more of their military. And do you think those other countries would come to the defense of America if we were invaded by China or Russia?
Well, they didn't, except the French and the Revolution. But these countries never come to our aid. They never come to our defense. And the Europeans have already gotten us into 2 world wars, okay, because they couldn't work out their differences. And so far as liberals, in particular, liberals who are black, who believe that America has this stain of slavery on it. The United States, we ended slavery. Slavery was brought here by the Europeans that you're advocating for now. Okay, get your reparations from Europe. No, this is bad news. This is very bad news. And what I find, I was when Biden took his trip over there with the fake air raid siren. I was talking about this. I said, why do we not have any press embedded with frontline Ukrainian units? I don't think the war is as hot as they want us to believe. I think there's some skirmishes here and there. I don't think this is all-out war.
And another thing that makes me upset is all these countries come to us for help, but yet they spit on us.
That's all they want is our money. That's all they want is our money. President Trump knows how to handle NATO. Remember when he reprimanded all the NATO leaders? That was beautiful. Beautiful, President Trump.
And did you ever hear the comment that Angela Davis made? She's a civil rights activist that found out through her DNA that she has white in her.
Well, hold on, slow down. No. I talked about that last week, white in her. You can tell by looking at Angela Davis, okay, because she's very light-skinned. But Angela Davis, what the rap has always been on that is that slave, that's the slave master of her family. And that what was revealed is that Angela Davis is a Mayflower descendant. And and that was just devastating. I think she's known it her whole life and kept it a secret and has been a big fake. But she's part of the first boat of people that came over here. So if anyone has any responsibility for slavery, it's her family line.
You see, I didn't know that about her till the other day.
Well, no one did. She kept it a secret. Henry Louis Gates exposed her on that PBS show. I love that PBS show. Henry Louis Gates brings all these liberals on and exposes them for having connections to slavery. It's beautiful.
Well, I blame Biden and his administration for all this racial tension.
Hey, listen, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing? This is Maria from Florida.
Hey, Maria, what's up?
Yeah, I was the same way too. I heard Zelensky statement when he was asked by the reporter that you have any concern if America don't want to support this war, support you, keep giving you money. And he responded, and I knew it. I already felt it for a while that he was going to cut out his shell and make a statement about American children going to be fighting in his war. And I said to myself, you an idiot. You really disgusted. And I tell people people that talk to me about this, I don't want to talk about him anymore. You know, he's using the people to fight in a war that he know damn well he can't win. Excuse my language, but
well, I don't know about that. This is. I'll throw a question out there. There's no way to know the answer to it, but I can ask you in the audience to render your opinion. Do you think that Zelensky has some very full bank accounts in Switzerland or the Cayman Islands or something that he didn't have before this war?
Yeah, he do. He do.
I'm sure he does. We don't know for sure, but I mean, I think that's fair to assume. And I'll tell you this: he's up to his eyeballs in that FTX scandal. During this war, okay, where he's begging us for money, Zelensky bought $100 million worth of that FTX cryptocurrency, and that's when Bankman took almost 40 million of it, almost 30-some million, and funded the entire midterm election campaigns of many Democrats, including Fetterman. So if he's got money to buy crypto and launder it into the U.S. Democrat Party and during the midterms, I don't think he needs anything from us. He seems to be doing all right.
Exactly. It's like he's a creep. He's a creep to me, and it makes me sick to my stomach that you keep talking about America supporting you. America supporting you. We don't even know you.
Yeah.
Confident. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said he are getting money from us, funding the Democrat Party. We have been doing it for day one, and I'm gonna go back to the quote where Trump was trying to tell him he got corruption in his state. Why did the Democrat impeach Trump?
Mm-hmm.
Every American needs to really understand. Trump was telling the truth. Donald Trump was telling the truth, and they was lying to us. And they impeached Trump because they didn't want Trump to investigate Ukraine because it was going to happen. The second term, it would, and it's going to happen when he come back. And
that's right. All right, Maria, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
This makes me furious, just furious. Now, America's sons and daughters be dying for any of these politicians, especially not Joe Biden. But I will tell you what I think we just heard. I just think we heard from the real president of the United States.
Zelensky?
Exactly. If he's extorting Biden for all this money because of the crooked dealings in Ukraine.
Yeah.
That's what I think this is.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think this is U.S. support. I think Zelensky's got the drop on Biden, and now he's using it. Nobody, not one person, to be going overseas to die for any of these politicians, especially not Joe Biden. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Putin supporter, but like at one point says America stop falling for the big lie.
Well, you know, I agree. Hey, Andrea, thanks for your call. And I'll tell you, the reason I bring this up today is because this week, George Bush came out in support of U.S. involvement in Ukraine, George W. Bush, and Jeb Bush came out and endorsed DeSantis this week. Okay. So when you have the Bush family pushing these two things, it tells me that Ron DeSantis if he were to get the nomination and were to become president in 2024, he would not be able to stop the war. Only Trump can do this. Only Trump. And it's not that DeSantis is necessarily pro-war, but he's owned by the Bush family and the donors. And he's not going to be able to stand up to the donors. Trump is so rich, he doesn't care about the donors. Okay. Now, before we break, just unrelated, I'm going to share something that really is a public service to this audience. I'm serious. There's a television show being pushed on people on Amazon Prime called The Consultant. Do not watch The Consultant. I watched it. It's a one-season series on Amazon. It's 8 episodes. The first couple episodes are spectacular and will rope you into a mystery. And as soon as you become bored, they bring in a new mystery that'll keep you watching. I watched all 8 episodes. Spoiler alert. Okay. In the last episode, none of the mysteries are revealed. None of the mysteries are revealed. There's no ending. It's awful. It's a waste of life. Do not watch The Consultant on Amazon Prime. Don't be roped in. Okay? I'm serious. It's that bad. I was ticked at the end that happened. All right, we'll be back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
Anybody else watch The Consultant? I can't be the only one.
The Steve Kane Show.
Yeah, what the hell does that even mean? Bizarre. I mean, what was the point of that? I've never seen something like that before. I gave up on Yellowstone when they got to the part where his one son wasn't his son, and then he meant his 5 star watching after that. I did watch 1923, which was also a disappointment. No. Don't fall for it. Oh. Oh, man. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is our top of the hour break. We'll be back shortly. Oh, what a day. I've been so busy since we've gotten back from our cruise. I was telling my wife last night that the last month, because we've been back almost a month, has been a blur to me. Just a complete blur. I've been so busy. That's good. Being busy is good. But I could use a vacation. Yeah, so what I'm doing in a couple weeks, I was going to do this months ago. I'm going to, are any of you familiar with Star Trek Continues on YouTube? Star Trek Continues on YouTube. It's incredible. And you guys should check it out. And I'm visiting the sets of Star Trek Continues in a couple weeks. And it's in South Georgia, just north of Jacksonville. And yeah. And so one Friday coming up soon, I'm leaving the radio station and driving to the sets of Star Trek Continues. I'm so excited. Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Lifetime Trekker. I was gonna fly. I didn't realize how close it is. It's 4.5 hour drive from the radio station. That's it. So it's 5 hours from my house because it's right over the border. It's not woke, and it was made a few years ago. Yeah, they got shut down by Paramount from it was too good. It's Trekker, not Trekkie is derogatory. It's like the N word for Trekkers. That's Star Wars, Cynthia, not Star Trek. Star Trek is live long and prosper, you know. Or Nanu Nanu, Mork and Mindy. Well, it's the flights. I'd have to fly to Jacksonville, rent a car, and then drive the rest of the way. And there's no flights from here to Jacksonville until like at the end of the day. I would be there in my hotel room before the plane took off. Yeah, I used to go to Star Trek conventions when I was younger. I've been to one in years. Oh, he's good. Yeah, I met him. Vic Mignogna. I met him a couple months back down here in Florida. It is very good. Some episodes are better than others, but watch the Mirror Mirror episode. You're only going to watch one. Yeah, they're complete replicas of the original Star Trek sets, even the lighting. And of course, when I go in to take the tour, they're going to have everything on: the lighting, the equipment, the sets, it'll all be on. They have everything. Every room that was on the original series, they have. They have a shuttlecraft, transporter room, everything. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. And when it gets to you get me talking about Star Trek, I'll be all over the. I will never get back to politics. I hope not. William Shatner is not a pleasant guy. I've spent quite a bit of time with him. Is Disney Plus worth getting? Probably not. Unless you got little kids.
Now back to the Steve
All right, here we go.
Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. Callers on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Hour number 2 has begun. Our number 1 Triple HQ, Kane 1. Before we get back to this warmonger that we are talking about today, Zelenskyy, I want to mention, yesterday afternoon, I picked my daughter up at the airport and in Fort Lauderdale. And I always meet my daughter at baggage claim. I miss the old days when you could actually go to the terminal. Remember that? You could actually go to the terminal and watch and meet them right when they walk off the plane. Those days are gone. So I meet my daughter at baggage claim, and she's flying in from LA, right? And there's 2 flights that are getting their luggage from this same turnstile, and one is Los Angeles, the other one is New York City, right? And I'm waiting for my daughter. And these people are staring at me. And it was really uncomfortable. These people that flew in from LA, they're looking at me. I thought my zipper was down. Or I checked my zipper a couple times. I didn't know what was going on, and they're staring at me. I couldn't figure it out. And then I realized I was wearing a Trump shirt. And I have one of my Trump shirts. It has President Trump's high school graduation picture on it from the military school, and I was wearing that. I wasn't wearing a MAGA hat. I don't usually wear the MAGA hat at the airport because I don't want to be triggering the TSA, you know what I mean? So, and I realized they were staring at my shirt, and my dog, I made a little YouTube video about it, It was right from the turnstile at the baggage claim. It was pretty funny. And my daughter she said to me when she came down the escalator and she saw me, and she could see when she was up at the top of the escalator, all these people flying in from LA staring at me because of my Trump shirt. It took me a while to figure it out. And I told her next time she flies in from LA, I am going to wear my MAGA hat and really trigger these California, LA wokesters. And, you know, they're probably coming here on vacation. It's cold out in California right now, in Southern California. And we have, of course, just the most beautiful weather in America right here in Ron DeSantis' free Florida. And they were looking at me with, some of them really had these looks of disgust on their faces. And I said, I can tell you're in Florida now, baby. This is Ron DeSantis' free Florida, and this is how we dress here. It was hilarious. I made a little YouTube video about it. You guys can check it out on my YouTube channel. I love it. I love it. If you don't like Trump, you're going to be uncomfortable in Florida, okay? We love him here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm not a conservative, Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
I didn't know California was that sensitive to a lot of these.
Yeah, I thought they were so tough. My daughter was telling me my daughter drives, she's only here for a few days. So she drove her car to LAX and left it there. And she told me she had to park so far away because basically all the good parking spots that aren't a mile away are reserved for electric vehicles. And she has one of those old-fashioned gas guzzlers, you know.
So hopefully people come from California, they're not going to want to live there because there goes our state if they have every.
Well, I'm never gonna pick her up at the airport again without my MAGA hat on. The Trump shirt triggered them so much. If I'm wearing a Trump shirt and a MAGA hat, they might book a flight out of Florida. You know, when I haven't talked about this in a while. Okay, now, you know, the real estate prices in, by the way, Doug, thanks for the call. The real estate prices are really high in Florida, right? And, you know, there's been this exodus around America of people moving to Florida. And about, I don't know, half to 3/4 of my street has turned over in the last year with new owners. And not all at once, but, you know, one person sold their house for a month, and then, you know, people keep selling. And anytime the real estate agents would come to show someone the house, or there was an open house at the houses around me, I'd put on my MAGA hat and go out in the front yard and look busy, even if I didn't have anything to do, right? I'd pretend to do something. I'm checking my car, getting something out of the car. You know, I don't even do yard work, right? You know, I'm kind of too old for that now. Don't do yard work. There's a guy that comes and mows my lawn. I would pretend to do yard work because anytime someone came to look at one of the houses around me, I wanted them to know that they were on a MAGA street. I didn't want some liberal moving in across the street or next door to me. And it worked out well. I'm sure the real estate agents hated me doing this, but it worked out well because all the people that moved in are all conservatives. I don't know if my MAGA hat drove off the liberals or if it was just a conservatives. All of them were conservatives. I might have helped close the deals, right? They might have said, wow, you know, there was one person moved in down the street from Hawaii. They had Hawaiian license plates on their car, which I've only seen like one other time. And usually Hawaiians, you know, when they move to the mainland, they move to California or something. They move here and they're MAGA too. And they saw my MAGA hat. They got like a rainbow on the Hawaiian license plate, you know, and I want to make sure that I am in a place where I'm surrounded by MAGA. You don't want liberals moving in, especially after those never Trumpers kidnapped my cat and never returned it. You know, that was really the driving force to it. But, you know, you don't want to live in a neighborhood of liberals. You want to live in a neighborhood of good conservative people, don't you? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a fact. Now, real quick here before we break, there's a story out of Oregon. You may have seen this. Oregon is considering a bill to give homeless people $1,000 a month forever. And I'm watching some people talk about this on television. And they're talking about what a bad idea this is. Are you kidding me? I support Oregon giving $1,000 a month to all the homeless people? Absolutely. You know why? Because all of our homeless people will go to Oregon for the money. In fact, if they do that, if they actually pass this in Oregon, $1,000 a month to the homeless, if they pass that, Ron DeSantis should put billboards up all over Florida advertising, if you're homeless, get $1,000 a month in Oregon. And by the way, offer free one-way Amtrak tickets or something to Oregon and get. I think it's a great thing. You know, this time of year, the weather's cold up north. We've got great weather in Florida, and there's more homeless people in town right now in Florida. The homeless are like the burbs. They come to Florida for the summer. But no, I support Oregon giving $1,000 a month to the homeless, and and if they do, you know, maybe I bet you maybe we'll contact the state of Florida's governor's office or something, and maybe we can get them to advertise here on our radio station that if you or someone you know is homeless, move to Oregon and get $1,000 a month. That would be. Would you? How many people think that's a good idea? I think it's a great idea. All right, listen, we'll take our break and be back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in them.
Oh man, what do you guys think about me putting my MAGA hat on every time the real estate agent shows someone the houses? I mean, that's hilarious. There was a couple times I even got out and walked down the street, you know, and everything else, which I don't ever do. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a great idea. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. Helps the homeless get out of our community. Oh boy. Yeah, this one here, I keep the tag in because I like the tag. The tag's starting to want to fall out though. It says official Make America Great Again 45th President hat on the tag. So I keep the tag in this hat. You know, because I think it's a cool tag. But the one that I wear most of the time is the one that President Trump has seen with his own eyes a bunch of times. President Trump's probably seen my MAGA. My other MAGA hat I wear all the time. It's kind of sun faded because, you know, Florida, I wear it a lot. It's one I wore on the cruise. He's probably seen that hat at least 7, 8 times now with his own eyes in person. So I love that hat because it's got Trump's imprint on it from him seeing it. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Oh, that was hilarious at the airport yesterday. I loved it. All right, welcome back, one and all. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. You know, I was talking about real estate and what I was doing in my neighborhood to make sure that I'm living in a MAGA neighborhood on a MAGA street. But listen, real estate is so hot right now in the state of Florida. It really is. And when you list your home, you want to call Elena Castro. Elena Castro has been in real estate here in South Florida for over 20 years. And she was introduced to Steve and myself by Tom Laporta from Laporta Contracting. And she will make sure that you get top dollar for your home. I'm going to give you her number in a moment. And this is her cell phone number. It brings directly to her cell phone. Elena Castro has she has a strategy and a technique that will get you multiple offers on your home. And once you get multiple offers, there's a competition. That's when you get asking price or above. You know, real estate right now is so high in Florida, and a lot of people want to cash out and get that golden lottery ticket. Don't do it without listing with Elena Castro. She's going to get you top dollar for your home. Now, if you're looking to rent or buy, she can help you get good deals there too. Here's her number, 954-478-5015. 954-478-5015. This rings directly to Elena Castro's cell phone. 954-478-5015. Make sure you tell her you heard about her on the radio. You know, very disturbing article. Listen to this. The CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah, and we know that the Chinese Communist Party is involved in buying into so many parts of our society, right? Our government. They own the CCP own the president, whole bunch of members of Congress, both houses. Look at Mitch McConnell. They've even gotten Republicans. This buying up of farmland is insane. You know, some of the farmland is bought near military bases so they can set up spy operations. But when you own farmland, then you start to get control over the food supply, don't you? That's right. That's right. You know, even if the government commanded you to grow, say, corn for ethanol or something, well, who's to say that that corn is going to grow? Who says you're going to pick it in time or plant it right? This should be illegal. The Chinese should not be able to own property, especially farmland. And I've talked about this. President Trump, part of his platform in 2024 I think should be seizing all of the CCP-owned farmland, giving it back to American farmers, and pass a law forbidding foreign ownership of U.S. farmland. The CCP, the Chinese, there's a new story, okay, about the CCP that I'm going to share with you in a moment of where they are. It's insane. The Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, they're behind Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan. I know you may not think so, or may think that's nuts, but, you know, Afghanistan is how far from China? I mean, they border it, right? So that big military base that we abandoned in Afghanistan, the one that has like the thickest runways ever that it can withstand bombings, the Chinese have that now. That was an area that we were using that base in Afghanistan as a spy center for us to spy on China. Biden gave that base to the Chinese. They're there now. They're using it. Not only that, part of Biden handing Afghanistan over to China. You know, China, remember, prior to the United States conquering Afghanistan, their number one export was heroin. Not only did we rebuild and modernize Afghanistan, we did a geological survey and found out that they had the largest lithium deposits on the planet Earth. Lithium is what you need for the electric car batteries. Most electric cars are built in China. They're not Teslas. They're built in China. And China is releasing worldwide, and including here in the United States over the next few years, economy electric cars that anyone who is going to buy a car can afford. I'm talking about cars $10,000 and less that run on electric. They got the lithium now. Biden gave that to them in exchange for something, right? All that military equipment that he left behind, is computerized, including those new Blackhawks with our latest computer technology. He gave that to China. They reversed engineered it. They're in every aspect of our society. They have this massive spyware thing going on, China, the CCP with TikTok. TikTok is spyware. They're in everyone's phones. And even if you don't use TikTok, if your kids or grandkids do, and they got any info about you, I'll give you an example. Your kids or grandkids have this spyware app, TikTok, on their phone. Do they ever call and ask to borrow money? How do you send it to them? You can text money. You can send it through Zelle. Well, CCP, if they got your intel now because you are giving your bank account information over the device to their device. It's insane what's going on. And I talk a lot about how all this gender stuff is being done through TikTok. The Chinese influence over this country we could just list it all day long. And there's a new one. The CCP has been funding private schools in the United States. That's right. The CCP has been funding a number of private schools in cities across America. Many of those schools have ROTC programs in them. The Republicans are trying to pass a law forbidding this, and they most definitely should. But and they're using the ROTC connection to do it because they're getting funding from the federal government from the ROTC. So the CCP being involved in private schools, what are they doing? They're getting involved in the education system now. Their influence in our education system is being felt now through this. We've all but been conquered by the Chinese, really. If you think about it, they're in every aspect of American life with massive control, and they do it through money. The Cold War with Russia, all these conquerors of the past, they did it all wrong. You just have to start donating to their officials, right? If the Vietnam, it started with the Soviets did this on a smaller scale. The Vietnam War protest movement was funded by the Soviet Union. And look what it did. We lost. And China has taken that now into every aspect of our society. And the CCP should have no involvement with any schools, public or private, in this country, but they do. There's not an aspect of American government that they don't have an ownership in. And it's very scary, really. It is really scary, and it's dangerous. And there's many other things they're involved in too, but this is a new one. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Call us on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. I'm Brian. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Okay. Okay, let me get my.
If we had.
Oh, this next clip. Biden's a real beauty. I'll be right back, guys. Be right back.
Learn more about research, education, and support.
Traffic, a service of Palm Beach Kennel Club. Lots of exciting events in PBKC with the Poker Room's $100,000 guaranteed Monster Multi-Flight Tournament March 2nd through the 5th. And get tickets for comedian Joe DeVito from the Gutfeld Show in the Paddock on March 10th. And the St. Patrick's Day Party March 17th. The delicious Irish buffet, live music, and dancers. For tickets and info, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Oh yeah, this next segment's going to show how scummy and low-life Joe Biden really is. I mean, it's just, you won't want to miss this. By the way, guys, make sure you like the video. If you've not liked the video, please do. And don't forget, go to mypillow.com, and there's so many great specials going on there right now. But I'm telling everybody, this MyPillow 2.0 is buy one, get one free with the cooling technology. That special is going to disappear without notice. I'm here to tell you. And you heard Mike from Louisiana earlier. It's been a week, 2 weeks he's been sleeping on his. He loves it. And this buy one, get one free offer will disappear once they start running low on inventory. Let me see here. Where am I? Got to get my audio. Yeah, Biden. This next clip I'm going to play of Biden is. Oh. And then I'm gonna get back into Zelenskyy, because that's huge. That's got to be.
Down at Vesper's ski school. She needs more ski instructors to slalom through the day-to-day.
No, coming back down.
Indeed can help you hire great people fast. Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
To the Steve Kane Show.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I mean, it's not news to you that Biden is a low-life person. Something happened with him yesterday that shows how scummy he is. You know, this is the thing with Biden, okay? He's a senile old coot who's suffering from some type of age-related dementia. And I don't make fun of that. I've had people in my family that have had Alzheimer's, and it's awful. And I don't make fun of people because they go through that. But in Florida, we have the oldest population in the state of Florida. And just anecdotally, from my experience as a Floridian, dealing with people everywhere you go that have dementia, Alzheimer's, all these things. One thing I've noticed about people that have age-related dementia issues, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me on this or not, but this is just my personal observations. When people get into that type of mindset, the dementia era, Alzheimer's, whatever other forms of dementia there are, their most negative personality conflicts or traits, I should say, the most negative personality trait. I can't even say it today. I'm getting like Biden. I can't talk. Their most negative personality traits become more pronounced. If they're a nasty person, they get more nasty. If they're an angry person, they get more angry. If they're a perv, they get more perverted. Have you guys noticed it? So the way Biden is, he was always rude and nasty, but in different ways than he is now. I remember when he was in the Senate and he was younger and he had the hair plugs going on, the doll hair plugs. He was always yelling and stuff. But now he's just a vile person. And there was a happening that I want to share with you. There was a mother who lost a child to fentanyl, and she was testifying to Congress. Let me play her testimony. This sad mother lost her child to fentanyl poisoning.
Chinese troops lining up along our southern border with weapons aimed at our people, with weapons of mass destruction aimed at our cities. You damn well know you would do something about it. We had a weather balloon from China going across our country. Nobody died, and everybody's freaking out about it. But 100,000 die every year, and nothing's being done. Not enough is being done. Numbers are going up, not down. And you talk about children being taken away from their parents. My children were taken away from me. 100,000 Americans every year are having their children, 200,000 because it's both parents, right? Are having their children taken away from them. This should not be politicized. It's not about race. Fentanyl doesn't care about race.
Okay. Yeah, that's the third time I heard it. I saw it, and then I went and pulled the audio, so I did listen to it again, and then I just played it to you guys. I mean, and every time it's hard. That's hard to hear. And this mother, she knows what's going on. Biden responded to this, and this is where the disgust come from about the negative personality trait becoming more pronounced. And I'll get to that in a moment. But this mother knows exactly what's going on here. And it's something I've been talking about for quite a while. I was talking about TikTok and the CCP and all of this in the last segment. We're under attack by China in many ways. One of them is the fentanyl. This southern border is open because China wants it open. China is making the fentanyl in China, in pharmaceutical plants in China, putting it on ships, and then those boats from China, I would say a slow boat from China, but they're probably pretty fast these days, dock at ports on Mexico's Pacific coast. They unload the fentanyl from the ships from China. The cartels give it to people and have them walk across the border with it. And China's we're being attacked in every aspect of American life by China, by the CCP. And the fentanyl crisis is part of it. That's why she was talking about the balloon and everything. Right? So Marjorie Taylor Greene commented on this. Very emotional thing. And Biden responded. Did any of you see this? Now, I'm going to caution you. you probably know Biden's a low-life person, but I've never seen a president of the United States do something as disgusting as this guy did. So you heard the audio of the mother, heart-wrenching, right? Any of you tear up? Probably. Marjorie Taylor Greene referenced it, talked about Biden's responsibility at the southern border and China and everything. Biden responded. Listen.
Well, I acknowledge, but it's there. And, you know, a little bit of more Marjorie Taylor Greene and a few more, you're going to have a lot of Republicans running our way. Isn't she amazing? Oof. Ours, the reason she was very specific. I shouldn't digress probably, but I've read, she was very specific recently saying that a poor mother who lost 2 kids to fentanyl, that I killed her sons. Well, the interesting thing is that fentanyl they took came during the last administration.
He laughed. She lost her 2 sons. Apparently, they died in 2020. Biden, who lost his son, Beau, doesn't even bond with another grieving parent. He laughs and like it's okay because her sons died in 2020. Doesn't do with him. He doesn't connect over the loss of children like he's experienced. He laughs. Listen, this is the president of the United States laughing at a woman who lost her 2 sons and acts like it's no big deal because it was on Trump's watch. Where is the media? Where is the dialogue in the media over this? Stop doing victory laps that some Democrat lost re-election in Chicago and is going to be replaced by another liberal Democrat who's going to do the same thing. Okay? I've never seen a president of the United States make fun of and laugh at a grieving parent who lost their children in this country before. Have you? The man has no heart. He's deranged. He's a mental patient. And he's evil. That's evil. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yeah, you're on the air.
Oh, hey, Brian. It's Ben from popping up.
Hey, Ben.
So I wanted to actually, I think it was very insightful what you said about, China is waging an asymmetrical war on us through, different means, and one of them is being through the border and fentanyl. Xi just came out not too long ago and said that he's already waging war on America in many different ways. And then, for Biden to laugh at that poor mother, right, who you'd think, the grieving parents who lost children would have just an innate bond between one another. I think it really does show you, no wonder Hunter Biden turned out to be such a wretched creature that he is. I mean, look at who raised him. I thought that was pretty disgusting, and I thought if Trump said something to that effect, we'd still be hearing.
Remember when Trump made fun of that reporter that was going crazy with the arms, and then he had like some illness, and they said he was mocking a homeless person. This president of and it's important to understand, he didn't do this stuff when he was younger because he had control of his mind. Now he's out of control because of his dementia. He is laughing at an American mother who lost her 2 American sons, and he thinks it's funny that they passed away during the Trump regime. Like it somehow there's nothing to see here because it happened when Trump was president.
Yeah, right. It absolves him of all responsibility, so therefore it's not his problem. But I mean, if you really want to put a magnifying glass to all the people who have died under his watch, it's not like he's blameless. I mean, sure, you can find some people who trickled in, but at least Trump was doing something about it. We had an incredibly secure border, and he went to the mat to do everything he can to close it, either working with Mexico or working with states. Biden, the fentanyl problem. I mean, there's countless people that got
Liberals are low life. You know, the first Trump rally I went to was in Boca, you know, and when he was running the first time, and there was a speaker a few hours before President Trump came out whose son was murdered by an illegal. He was a high school student. He was murdered. His body was put in a dumpster and burned, and she was telling the story. She broke down. She couldn't finish talking. This liberal woman and this liberal Democrat infiltrated and started calling her the B word. She got carried out by security, calling her, and she used the F word too, before the B word, as loud as she could. Democrats they used to enslave black people. They put Americans of Japanese descent in concentration camps. They did medical experiments on African Americans in the Tuskegee experiments. Democrats lynched black people in this country. You know, they've never, Democrats have all, and that's just the beginning. I'm up against a break. The Democrats have always been lowlives.
Yeah, I don't think we're dealing with Democrats. I think we're dealing with Marxists, and I think the ends always justify the means for them, so they don't care.
Liberals are communists. They are communist, Marxist, socialist, fascist. They're all of the above.
Human, right, and therefore anti-human. Communists have always been anti-human because the way they solve their problems, just kill more people, and that's why they don't have a problem if one of their ideological foes. That's a win for them because they only see for power. And so, that's, it's no surprise to me.
That's right.
That's par for the course.
That's right. Listen, I got to run, but thanks for the call. We'll take our break and be back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the Steve.
All right, and it's time to check in with attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing well. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, here we are. We're now in March. And March, for those of us who may have children or grandchildren, college age, that means spring break. And, some of the college students may be going away with their friends to some destination, but a lot of them are coming home. And one of the issues that comes up that we don't think about a lot when it comes to estate planning, we think of estate planning when we're older and when we're to deal with disability issues or for young families to take care of our young kids if anything happens and guardians. But what about our kids who are 18, 19, 20, 21 away at school? They're no longer minors. So as parents, we don't have the authority to make the decisions the way we did when they were minors. That's why it's so important for our college students, our children at those ages, to have powers of attorney and healthcare documents in place so the parents still can make decisions. Your kids are away, if something happens, we need to be able to be named as agents under powers of attorney and as surrogates for their healthcare documents so that we can make these important decisions. God forbid anything happens to our kids. So it's very,
Barry, Attorney Barry, you make a good point. I mean, my wife and I had a rude awakening. My daughter, she's 23 now. She was having a health issue. We called the doctor and they wouldn't tell us anything. It never happened before. So, what you're talking about is right on the money. Your kids, they're adults now, and that power of attorney is very, very important. Now, listen, it's always a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio. He has offices throughout South Florida. His main office is located in Boca Raton. But no matter where you are in the state of Florida, the Siegel Law Group can help you. They're online at SiegelLawGroup.com or call toll-free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel will finish out the week tomorrow. All right, back after this.
On the Social Justice Warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, welcome back. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, what's up?
Okay, Brian, you're making some really terrific points this morning. We've talked about this before on the media. The Chinese God is in such a full court press here. And I think half the people aren't even awake to it. It's so bad. Between that and the progressive liberals, we have a media that doesn't challenge anything. It's really we're in a sad state.
And on top of it, we get all of our stuff from China. So if China really, and all this stuff about the Wuhan lab, we knew about this because President Trump was telling us, right, during those great 2-3 hour press conferences he did during COVID, which kept us informed and secure and knew we had people running the country and doing things. And President Trump never went all the way there because he knew that he knew back then, because he was in his first term, he got all the. If President Trump told the American people and the world what China did, the entire world would have demanded a nuclear strike against China, and we'd all be dead now. And I remember so many times watching Trump talking about it and almost going there and holding back. I mean, look what happened in Italy. They lost all their senior citizens. All the grandma and grandpas in Italy died pretty much, right? Italy, all of NATO, the United States, the world would have been over. And I know it was hard for him, but he did it. And he did it for the right reasons, even though they attacked him. And now China is attacking every aspect of our civilization.
Brian, they've got us right now. If we don't get a leader in there in this next administration, if we don't get Trump back in there, this country's not going to survive. But nobody's got the experience and got the guts to take this on.
Well, let me tell you, right now, what I was talking earlier, Zelensky. Let me pull this clip up when I got you on. I played this earlier. This is the voice of Zelensky's translator.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight because it's NATO that we're talking about, and they will be dying.
Okay, so American men and women are going to have to die for Zelensky in Ukraine, this was 2 days ago. I brought it up today because the media, including Twitter, are making excuses and saying that his comments are out of context. And they put up the whole press conference, right? And there was a 10-minute exchange between this reporter who had asked him, what would happen if the United States stopped supporting Ukraine? And he went in this long-winded answer, and this was the end of it. It is in context. It is not out of context. And here's what I'm telling you. All this talk about DeSantis was endorsed by Jeb Bush the other day. George W. Bush supported U.S. intervention in Ukraine. DeSantis, unlike Trump, is not a billionaire 10 times over. He is controlled by the donors and the military industrial. If he became president, DeSantis, he would run. If he got the nomination, DeSantis would run getting us out of Ukraine. I almost said Afghanistan. Hey, that was 20 years. I'm sorry for the slip, 20-year war. But he would run on getting us out of Ukraine. But 2 weeks after he was sworn in, President DeSantis would increase U.S. involvement because the donors would demand it, and he's not able to stand up to them. Trump can. Trump is the only guy who can stop World War III in Europe. Only guy. Because he's so rich, he doesn't have to care about the donors. His family, he doesn't have to do deals. His kids are billionaires too, okay? He doesn't have to do deals, so his family's set up financially. That's one of the reasons they hate him, is he can't be bought. And DeSantis just would not be able to stand up to the donors and say no war in Ukraine. He would escalate.
Well, DeSantis is doing a great job running the state of Florida on the international stage. And the situation we're in now is a whole different ballgame.
Well, I've got DeSantis's book coming today. I ordered it the other day on Amazon, getting the hardcover. But, one of the callers in the first hour made a pretty good point. It might have been Richie the bus driver. Richie the bus driver has been making some good points lately. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's getting more informed or if I'm getting dumbed down, but he's making good point. He said, what Richie the bus driver made a good point about Governor DeSantis. He says, we don't know what his position is on foreign policy, especially Ukraine. He hasn't really told us.
Right. Well, I think he wants to stay away from that. By any chance, did you catch the Q&A that President Trump did on President's Day at the Club 45 on Palm Beach?
I did. I watched it. Yeah, I watched it live.
He's as sharp as ever. He's as sharp as ever, and he's been letting some of the political commercials go the last couple of days. He seems on fire. We don't have another option besides him. We really don't. And I hope people will wake up to this, but I don't know if they will or not. The progressive liberals are destroying this country, state by state. It's a disaster.
Yeah, it is. But you know, but our Republican establishment. Listen, Jeb endorsed DeSantis this week, and then he tried to take it back and said it wasn't really an endorsement. You know, and Jeb was standing next to Governor DeSantis when he was inaugurated for a second term a few weeks back. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, what else do you? I know he was governor, and he can go to any inauguration he wants to go to. And Jeb was a good governor. He was a very good governor, by the way. He was our governor for 8 years, and he did a very good job. But he's not the same man he used to be, Jeb Bush. Now, when he was running against Trump, I think he's got a lot of issues because when his brother became president, because GW and HW called each other 41 and 43, right? And so they were at the house, and it was, hey, 41, hey, 43, and Jeb. And I think that really did a big. I'm not kidding. I think that really he's not Jeb has lived in Miami since like the 80s. So a lot of people down here, Steve and I used to be friends with Jeb. Not anymore. And I don't want to be friends with the brother of a war criminal, by the way, who opposes Trump. But he's not. He's changed.
Yeah, I got us into Iraq too.
Yeah. How many millions of people's lives were destroyed because the Bush family lied about WMDs?
Well, you know, they're watching all those commercials when you watch through the news. The
Wounded warriors, tunnels to towers.
The warriors, tunnels to towers.
And then look at what George Bush does. George Bush likes to go jogging with guys that are missing legs and ankles and feet and limbs. These guys, these disabled veterans don't have body parts because of him, and he likes to go run around with them. It's sick. It's twisted.
It is. You know, I won't take your time so much time, but I saw an interview a while ago with Brian O'Neill, who took out Bin Laden. And even he said, you know, we're fighting all these things, doing all these military actions just for these people to make money like Dick Cheney and that.
That's right.
Of course. And we're fighting all these wars and who we're fighting them for and what the reasons are behind them. But on the international stage, we have one guy, that's Trump. I know, you know, Bush was a good governor and DeSantis is a great governor. But on the international stage, we got one guy that can match up, and that's Trump. Because
you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he was a liberal guy, right? I mean, he was with the Kennedys. But when he went and registered to run for governor, he had a press conference. And he came out and he says, I'm so rich. He says, I will not take any donor money. I'm so rich, I can't be bought. Well, you know, that didn't hold up. But Trump really is so rich, he can't be bought and won't be bought. Right?
With that infomercial backing up Biden was in big trouble about a year ago. And I said, are you kidding?
Well, you know what happened? Arnold Schwarzenegger, listen, I grew up on Schwarzenegger, you know. But what happened with Schwarzenegger, he not just because he's in with the Kennedys and, you know, and likes to have sex and he likes to impregnate the maid and everything, but he tried to take over The Apprentice when President Trump was in his first term, and it failed in the ratings, and President Trump mentioned it, and now he's just a lifelong never Trumper now. He can't get over that.
I heard one of his goals was to marry into the Kennedy family when he came in this country. Don't know for sure or not.
I don't know. All right, hey, listen, take care. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Chris from Colorado.
Hey, Chris. Gotten lucky yet? You still making your move? You still making your moves on the girl?
Oh yeah, hey, we both together last.
Did you hear Greg 2's call? Did you hear Greg 2's call after your call the other day?
Oh, absolutely. And I would take that poll and definitely check the church box.
Yeah. Anyway, why'd you call today, though?
Well, great show. You know, first of all, you know, President Biden, of course, making his horrible remarks, and you know, truth be told, he says, "Oh, you know, I'm President Trump's watch," but no, that was on Obama's watch that everything's authorized.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, And President Trump was fighting it like he always does, like you said, and improving things. And the woman clearly said the numbers are getting worse. So when Biden do get political and really insensitive, and for somebody that's lost a child himself, I mean, come on. So yeah, that's horrible. I hope people pick on it.
Yeah.
Your show should be nationally syndicated because I love how you break everything down.
Well, I appreciate that. We should be nationally syndicated. Well, you know, that would be nice. Any syndicators are listening. Mm-hmm.
I really wish your show was national.
Yeah.
So more people.
I'd like to be nationally syndicated too, and they can pay me half of what they pay Clay Aiken and that CIA guy Sexton that they plugged into Rush. I'll do it for half.
Exactly. I was choosing it.
Steve and I'll tell you what. Steve and I will make us nationally syndicated. Steve and I will split half of whatever they pay those jokers.
I love it. That's it. No wonder they don't have a background for it. I didn't want to. He just sound like a sports broadcast. These guys are ridiculous. I can't believe they're still on the air.
Sports talk. Yeah, they're still on the air. I know his name's not Clay Aiken. Clay Aiken's the gay guy from American Idol. That's just mockery. Okay, I know his name. I know his name is Clay Travis. Hey, listen, Chris. Appreciate the call and good luck with the girl. If you're on hold, stand by. 1 hour to go. It's 8 a.m. I'm Brian. Back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Road Studio. Injured recently, call the Rose Law Group, where winning is.
What's going on? No. Oh man, Houston, Texas. Welcome. Well, I guess we're kind of syndicated, right?
I was just about to say, I mean, you got UK Neil as well outside the US.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're not properly compensated for our syndication. Why did I like Clay Travis? Because they had the greatest radio show in the history of political talk radio, and they replaced it with a CIA operative and a sports guy. He's good when Clay Travis is talking about sports or a controversial issue involving an athlete. He's great, but he doesn't know when he's talking about this kind of stuff. It's like is there anyone in here that remembers when I first started doing talk at night with the 20-something show, and we were all kids, we didn't know what we were talking. It's like that. It's like juvenile, childlike. Huh?
Party March 17th. The delicious Irish buffet, live music, and dancers. Tickets at promo.com.
No one could replace Rush, but I sure could have tried. You know. Yeah, if you look at my video on the President's Day weekend at Mar-a-Lago, I went by Rush's house. I showed Rush's mansion. It's in that video. I got a great idea that I'm going to be doing for a live stream. Maybe this weekend that you guys are going to love. My daughter's in town, so I'm kind of tied up this weekend, but I'm going to try to do it. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you're going to click that. Make sure you have the notifications clicked so you get the notifications. You're going to love this live stream I'm going to do. Well, thank you. This is one of my Hawaiian cruise shirts. Or it's warm. It's like in the 80s every day now, so I'm breaking out the Hawaiian shirts.
with installation of your slow and chill. The doorbell camera is part of a free $1,500 customized security system. Now you're probably wondering what comes in this package. Well,
No.
you're gonna get a free LED
Bongino's on some stations that carried Rush, but Clay Travis and Buck Sexton are on most of them, and they were taken over by the same company that syndicated Rush.
these listeners call 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME and mention the True Oldies channel. It's that simple.
Hi, this is Maureen Cohen from Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens. We're so excited to be celebrating 50 years here in South Florida. The Cohen family started their first health food store in 1972, and ever since have been one of the largest locally owned, family-run health food stores in the area. We carry thousands of supplements like vitamins, minerals, herbs, homeopathics, diet and fitness, and so much more. All your favorite top quality brands. We also have tons of natural foods like gluten-free, paleo, and organic, as well as beauty aids, pet foods, and more. Visit Vanessa, Trish, Jensen, Scott, and Bruce. They're here 7 days a week for all your family's natural health needs. So stop by Nutrition World at the northeast corner of PGA Boulevard and Prosperity Farms Road in the Carmines Market Plaza by the Prosperity entrance. You can call us or text us anytime at 561-626-4377. That's 626-4377. Or check out our website at nutritionworld.com. Come see us 7 days a week at Nutrition World Palm Beach Gardens.
Well, thank you. Yeah, make sure you click the notification bell. You'll like this live stream I'm going to do. If I don't do it this week, it'll be next. But it'll be an unannounced thing when I can fit it in. I don't know if it'll be morning, afternoon, but it, but it'll. Here we go.
Back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Gregg.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. Our phones are very busy. 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631. Steve joining us. Hey, Steve.
Morning to you.
Oh, you sound better. You sound like you finally got rid of that head cold.
It was what they call a lingering cold.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, well, that's okay. Well, listen. Yeah.
I want to compliment you on that picking out that soundbite of the mother who lost the two sons. It was heartrending, and it really does. I mean, you nailed it exactly right. Shows what a creep Biden really is.
You would think he would. You would think that he would bond with her a little bit since he lost his son, and his two surviving kids are hooked on drugs. But no. He thinks it's funny.
With all the instability over there, he's got to make money while he can. So he's.
That's right.
Goes.
Now, speaking of deals, I threw a deal out for us. Chris said we should be syndicated, and I maybe I shouldn't have done this, but I made the announcement. If there's any syndicators listening, call the radio station. Steve and I will split half of whatever they pay Clay Travis and Buck Sexton that they think replaced Russia. Is that an okay offer that I made, that we'll split half of what they pay those guys? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, listen, the phones are very busy. Yes.
I've been following this thing, obviously, along with the rest of the country, this potential war with
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. Do you believe in that old bromide? I think it goes back to Reagan, is where it started. Peace through strength. Do you believe in that?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean what you think it means, I don't think. Callers on hold, stand by. We got a full board.
Just leave an open mind, because I really want an answer to this question. It's not a rhetorical question I'm asking. Are you afraid of the Russians gaining influence? You think the Russians are a threat to us?
No.
a threat?
No.
Wow.
No, they're not. They're no threat to us. And you know what? You know what? They never were. They've always been our friend. And I'll say, Ronald Reagan in Peace Through Strength didn't go to war with Russia. He just what he did actually didn't cost anything to beat Russia, contrary to popular belief. He defeated Russia because you remember this Star Wars SDI, the Strategic Defense Initiative. Ronald Reagan convinced the world, even Americans, the entire world, including the Soviets, thought that the United States had developed a space-based defense system of laser satellites that could shoot down any missile anywhere in the world. And Russia went bankrupt over trying to counter something that didn't exist, which was the Star Wars program of Ronald Reagan's. So yeah, no, Russia's never been a threat, Steve. Never been a threat to the United States. We defeated Hitler with the Russians. We couldn't have done it without the Russians.
So the Russians are good guys.
Yes.
That answers all my questions. I don't know what else.
Okay, well, how about this? Let's take the calls, because there's one opening at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Sandra from Delray.
Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey. This weekend on Sunday, I listened to this show. It's called Full Measure with Sharon Ackerson, and she had a piece on that was mind blowing. It was about Ukraine and China.
By the way, slow down for a second. Cheryl Atkinson is the journalist who was, attacked by Obama and thrown out of the networks. She's the reporter, the investigative journalist who broke the Obama-Biden Fast and Furious gun running operation. They got over 200 kids killed in Mexico with guns that Obama and Biden gave to the drug cartels. She broke the story. Obama got the network to fire her.
Well, she has a show every Sunday. It's mind blowing. Not this Sunday, but the Sunday before was on drugs and how the government. Oh, even this Sunday she had a piece on it. How the government controls the drug market, and they get kickbacks. The scientists who discover it, and that they don't have to disclose it. But I'm not calling about that. Her first piece was in Latin America. China is China is going into Latin America and helping with their infrastructure.
That's right.
And and representatives, two different ones, said we welcome China. They go, and also China's interested in the Panama Canal, but Latin Americans, they ask them, do you worry about China, taking over? No, we don't. They're helping us. And one of them said something that hit home. He said, United States is spending all their money on Ukraine. They have none for us. So China's coming in and they're showing all the, infrastructure that China is helping them with. And then they're going to be, China's going to be involved in the Panama Canal, and they're welcoming.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, that's great.
They're spending all our money on Ukraine. And that's what they said. And I said,
well, but don't forget, how much does the big guy get? Is it 10% to the big guy?
That's another issue, but they didn't go into that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Cheryl Atkinson, she's all right. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, is that me?
Sounds like you.
Hi, Brian. It's Greg from Fort Lauderdale. Good morning. I just wanted to weigh in on this whole Trump and DeSantis thing again. I don't know if the average sort of anti-Trumper or rhino realizes that Donald Trump was the only Republican in the last 100 years to grow the Republican Party. I'm talking about minority support. And many minorities will not vote for Ron DeSantis. He doesn't have a high enough profile, and he's not doing himself any favors by getting involved with rhinos. He's a great governor. I love what he does in Florida, but he's going to ruin his career if he gets too involved in.
Well, okay. Let me tell you what's happening with Ron DeSantis. I'll take it out of politics. You ever see you ever see these stories in the news where someone wants to find out if their husband's cheating, so they hire this private detective, and he has these super sexy women that try to seduce their husbands, and then the husbands give them the number, and because they can't resist the Hawaiian Tropic Mom. That's what's going on with Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis and his wife are being seduced by these big money donors, and they're telling him, "You're the greatest. You're loved. You're peaked, and this is your time to be president and first lady of the United States." And Ron DeSantis's second inauguration, there were two things of note. One, I mentioned Jeb Bush was right next to him, and his beautiful wife Casey DeSantis was dressed like she was going to a presidential inauguration. She was dressed like Melania, and Governor DeSantis has in the last few months, I noticed this around the time the hurricane hit the Gulf Coast, constantly refers to his wife as the first lady. So they're being seduced by supermodels and Hawaiian Tropic models and a lot of money, and they need to resist the temptation. And they're just being tempted with things that mortals are not normally tempted with, and they're teetering right now on whether they're going to take it or not.
Well, resisting as I see
It doesn't look like it.
Become more.
I agree. I agree on your assessment. I agree. And the other thing is, what rhinos and average sort of anti-Trumpers don't realize, many of us support Trump not only for the America First agenda, but his personality. Trump is not a politician. Many people, if you go on TikTok now talking about minorities, if you ask them who they want back as president, 100%.
Yeah. Donald Trump. Hey, listen, I gotta run for the break, but you're right. Great call. Call us again. Callers on hold. Stand by. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig on Oldies 95.9 and 106.9.
Oh, you're my movers? Two men in a truck.
Good morning. I'm man number one. I'm man number two. And I'm man number three.
Wait, I thought you were two men in a truck.
We are, but your move will go best with three men. Whatever it takes to move people forward, whether across the city or across the country. Because we're the movers who care.
Well, come on in. Three men in a truck.
But you can still find us at twomenpalmbeach.com and twomentreasurecoast.com.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside, everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Here from CutMyKilowatts.com. We are an energy saving and installation company. Make your home energy efficient, cut your electric bills up to 50%, and pay little or even nothing for the repairs. Make sure you get your fair share of the Inflation Reduction Act. Rebates up to $14,000 per year. Funds available on a first come, first served basis. Rebate programs for low or moderate income families up to $150,000 of income. $14,000 per year. This is huge. Use this money for insulation and radiant barriers. $2,800 available. Hybrid hot water heaters up to $3,750 available. AC units up to $10,000.
Oh man.
$6,600. And after you reach your home consumption for 35% or more, you get additional rebate money of $4,000 to $8,000 if you qualify. To find out how much you qualify for, call me 954-939-1500. That's 954-939-1500. Or go to CutMyKilowatts.com and fill out the form.
Brian Craig here. Right now, Mike Lindell is offering the My Pillow, the pillow that started it all. Regular price $49.98, just $19.98 with our promo code KANE, KANE at checkout. I've tried every pillow too. The foam pillow, bamboo pillow, and a bunch more. None of them worked until my first night's sleep with a My Pillow. And patented fill inside adjusts to your exact individual needs. It keeps your neck aligned, holds it in shape all night long, no matter your sleep position. So you get the best night's sleep with no tossing and no turning. So you wake up in the morning refreshed and ready to go. Now this is the lowest price.
I'm just reading over some things to talk that we're going to be talking about in the next few segments. I'm going to take more calls after the break, though. I'm not going to bring anything else up yet.
You can also order over the phone. 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Order your My Pillow and get the best night's sleep just like I do every night.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, welcome back. Steve Kane's here. I'm Brian. I was just checking our email, just an email that just came through. I found you by accident on the radio driving to work yesterday. I'm so happy. Well, welcome. And I love those radio accidents. You know, you flip through the dial and you won't be flipping anymore once you find us on whichever one of our radio stations you're listening to us on. Tell all your friends. Now, I want to take a moment to tell everyone about my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton. I just want to talk just a moment here about Dr. Appleton's laser away pain treatment. It works. He rid me of two entirely different types of pain that I was truly suffering from. My right knee, I was in pain for years after a pretty bad accident on my skateboard. I was live streaming while I was skateboarding, and I was paying more attention to the chat room on my live stream than kicking my foot on the ground. I lost my coordination, and I was hurt so bad, I went to the emergency room on my skateboard, and my knee never recovered. And some of you may have been watching me live stream during that accident. It was brutal and scary, you know. And I got some extra injuries because I was more concerned about breaking my new iPhone than breaking my body. But I never recovered. I'd been in pain in my right knee for years. I went to see Dr. Philip Appleton. He told me about the laser away pain treatment. He did it, and after 2 treatments, the pain in my knee gone, years of pain, and it has not returned. And it's been almost a year. My arthritis in my finger, that was brutal. That arthritis pain was tough. And I just thought, well, arthritis, I'm getting up there. That's life. 1 treatment with Dr. Appleton's laser away pain treatment. 1 treatment. The arthritis pain gone and has not returned, and it has been months. Whatever kind of pain you have, call Dr. Appleton. He can help. Not just arthritis and a knee injury, bursitis, work injuries, sports injuries, strains and sprains, neck injuries, back injuries, tinnitus, sciatica, spinal stenosis, herniated discs. The list goes on and on. If you're in pain, you don't have to be in pain. By the way, with laser away pain treatment from Dr. Philip Appleton, there are no injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, and he's open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Online at AppletonChiro.com. He's a chiropractic physician, and he wants to rid you of your pain. Here's the number. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. Call him and say bye-bye to your pain. All right. You want to take some more calls? What do you want to do, Steve? All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Joe from New Jersey.
Hey, Jersey.
Am I on the?
You're on the air.
You're on the air, Joe. What do you know? Good morning, Steve. I just want to tell you guys that I love your show. I love you guys. I wish you the best. God bless you and all your families. Now, on topic, I agree with Steve. Russia is an evil enemy of this country. They may not have been so in the last few years, but they have been in the past. They're evil. Yet,
well, wait a minute. The Brits, we had 2 wars against them a long time ago. We're going to go to war with Russia over something a long time ago. What did they do to us a long time ago that you want to go to war with now, caller?
what I'm saying is that they tortured Americans. They murdered their own people. They enslaved Romania, Poland, the whole Eastern Europe. Yes, we had.
When was that? When was that?
World War II.
After World War II. Oh my goodness. 70 years ago?
They also.
In historical terms, that's nothing.
Well, you know, you guys are getting up there, I guess. So you want to go to war with Russia over atrocities during... hold on, caller. Hold on, caller. Do you want to go to war with Russia over atrocities committed by Stalin?
No, I want to learn from the lessons committed by Stalin. I want to learn.
Really,
that
right on the money.
Russia
Right on the money.
They went into Poland. We let them have it.
Poland's free now. Poland's free now.
Thank God. Thanks to Pope John Paul and Ronald Reagan.
Uh-huh.
But the point is, we can't let. I agree with you that the war is fake, somewhat fake. It's not a real war. There's minimal action going on. I agree with that. I agree that FTX and all the money that's being laundered over there is horrible, and we need to get to the bottom of it. Our money is being thrown out the window with no.
Other than, let me ask you this question about Ukraine. Other than sexy, beautiful, hot women and supermodels, what else does Ukraine import to the United States that's worthy of us going to war?
I just like the fact that we don't stop.
Well, we're not Europe, though, Steve. We're America. We have our own breadbasket, the Midwest.
So therefore, the Soviet Union.
There's no more.
I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, caller. You're on a roll, caller.
So if you don't.
The Soviet Empire, we defeated the Soviet Empire. These are our friends over there. Here's China doing all these terrible things, and your guys are worried about Putin, who's never made any aggressive action towards the United States.
I worry about.
Right? Don't you think uniting with China is an act of war? Don't you think Chinese giving weapons to Russia right now is an act of war?
No. You want to go to preemptive war. You want to go to this. You're a boy. You're a great caller. You want to do a preemptive strike and go to war with let me finish my sentence. You want to do a preemptive strike and go to war with two nuclear powers that are allied, Russia and China.
Well, I happen to be a combat vet, unlike you, so I don't want to go to war. I'll tell you right now, but I will have to.
What does that mean? What does that mean? That means listen, John Kerry's a combat vet. Should I take his opinion over yours or mine? He was just because someone's a combat vet. What do you think this is? Starship Troopers, where only veterans can have opinions?
I'm telling you not to put words in my mouth. That's what
you said. I'm a combat veteran, unlike you, so you're more valid.
I don't want to go to war, unlike you. I've been to war. I don't want to see it again.
Then why are you pushing for it? Well,
if we don't stop the Russians,
what are the Russians? Listen. Why do we not see journalists embedded with Ukrainian forces fighting against Russia?
There's a lot of
you have Ukrainian troops.
No. We don't have media embedded showing combat. I see some old buildings that have been burned and stuff.
Yeah, what do you think? Well, you don't watch. I forgot. You don't watch Fox. Therefore,
I see old buildings that are torn up. Steve. I'm talking about I don't think there's much fighting going on. I think there's some isolated skirmishes. Listen, we're up against the break, caller. All right. Thanks for the call. There's only one opening on the board where the warmonger just was. If you're on hold, stand by. Yeah, that's what he is, a warmonger. No, I'm the peacenik. No, he wants to go to war to end wars, he says. It was that World War I, the war to end all wars. Listen, we got to run. We got to run for the break. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
I like that guy. I'm a combat veteran, unlike you. So I'm a,
He's like, oh, if like I want to go to war, but we go to war. Like, he's like, if we do, like, I'm going.
Yeah, exactly.
How old are you?
The guy's 90 years old.
Yeah. And he's gonna go. My generation.
Yeah, exactly.
Not you.
Exactly.
And you want us to go to war, but then say you don't want to go.
Exactly. Exactly.
You contradicted himself like 5 times.
That's what happens when you watch too much Fox. You get brainwashed by the military-industrial complex pundits. Oh my goodness! I know he's crazy, but he's a good caller. He's a good caller. Now there's one opening on the board. My goodness. Oh, man. If you happen to be on hold, stand by. I'm going to go to the calls when we get back. Did anybody get that Starship Troopers reference I threw in there? I don't know where that came from. Oh. That's right, Wookiees. The book is much better than the movie, but the movie's awesome. Has anybody read? There's a great science fiction book that's a ripoff of Starship Troopers, but it's really good, called Old Man's War. Old Man's War, very good. I've read that book twice. Old Man's War. I don't read many novels twice. That was Starship Troopers, not Star Wars. To be a citizen, you had to be a veteran in Starship Troopers. What does he do? No. Actually, what he does, he's not playing on his phone. He runs all the commercials and everything. He's taking notes. If you go to our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com, and you click on the podcast, he takes note of the time during the show and what I'm talking about, and he puts detailed notes on the podcast, like at 3 minutes and 30 seconds in what we were talking about. You go and look. He takes the notes on his notes on his phone. He's not playing games or texting. Yeah, go to trueoldiesfla.com. Yeah, and he also runs he runs the board and the commercials. I don't have to do anything except turn my mic on and off and the callers. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Our number 1-888 Go Kane 1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Mark.
Back to this last caller there with the Russia deal there. Russia fought with us as an ally against the Nazis. One of the biggest parts of the army and the military in Ukraine is the Azov Battalion. Now, we all know what the Azov Battalion is. They've tried to soften up their name and what they do, but they're neo-Nazis.
Yeah, they're Nazis. Yeah, I don't buy this neo. You're either a Nazi or you're not a Nazi. They're Nazis. You know, you can call them new Nazis to make them sound like they're different, but yeah, they've rebranded them now. I don't know what do they call the Nazis now? They call them something else.
Okay, but you agree that the Azov Battalion are not.
Yeah, and Zelensky's a Jew, and he's got these Nazis fighting for him. It's a little strange, isn't it?
It is. Now, given the fact that we had U.S.-funded biolabs in Ukraine, and I think
well, I don't know. I don't want to get into all that stuff because listen, this is what we know, and there's something new here, and I just want to talk about what we know and what's new. All right. And by the way, thanks for the call. You're welcome to call back another time. Call us on hold, stand by. This came up today. We're not just randomly talking about Ukraine. There's been a happening, okay? And there's been a development in the happening. Now, 2 days ago, Zelensky was in a press conference, and I'll play this clip. The voice you hear is Zelensky's lady translator, but she's translating him. Listen.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight because it's nature that we're talking about, and they will be dying.
Okay, so American sons and daughters will die for Ukraine, and that was 2 days ago. I referenced it on yesterday's show, but didn't. No, I'm not.
If we don't stop them now, is what she.
Yeah.
We're going to end up there later because we're going to have to.
No, we're not. No, we don't. There's no negative consequences. No negative. But the reason I brought this up today is Steve's got the media spin. So Zelensky said it, and he's saying that young American men and women are going to have to die for a place that nobody can find on a map that's unlabeled, and Poland is has not been attacked. I know. And then it'll be Brooklyn. I know. The domino theory. I know. I heard all that growing up, which was a lie. But anyway, getting back to this, the reason I bring this up today is because Zelensky said this 2 days ago, and people were outraged yesterday. So now we have the military-industrial complex over there on Fox News and elsewhere. And even Twitter, Elon Musk's Twitter has been doing this, spinning it, saying his comments were taken out of context. They are in context. They are not out of context. And they're trying to do damage control. That's all. And he said what it is that he said. And we have no business having one American in Ukraine fighting for anything. Okay? And my opinion. Steve disagrees, but that's my thoughts.
That's why they're doing what they're doing, so we won't have Americans.
Oh my goodness, doing what they're doing, so the big guy can get his cut, 10%. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Do you think Zelensky's a millionaire now? Think he's got some Swiss and Cayman bank accounts?
I have no idea.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I bet he does. Bet he does. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. This is David from Tamarack.
Hey, David.
David.
Good morning, Steve. So I just wanted to comment on one thing you said, Brian, about John Kerry being a combat veteran. I believe he
got a splinter on his tuchus and scratched his knee and got 2 Purple Hearts. The senator's son, I don't think this was a hardened military veteran.
Well, no. What he no. He was no. He was a swift boat captain, and this is the deal in Vietnam. They by the way, that was just I was mocking him. Of course, I know what John Kerry is all about. You know, I was just showing how ridiculous. John in Vietnam, if you got 3 Purple Hearts, you got rotated home. We had the doctor who signed off on one of his Purple Hearts, telling us how John Kerry pressured. He had a paper cut, and how John Kerry pressured him to sign the Purple Heart. I think it was the second Purple Heart, because he wanted to get 3. When Saigon fell in 1975, I don't know what month it was. Do you know what month Saigon fell, caller? Okay. I was born in 71. Okay. So when Saigon fell, I was either 3 or 4 years old, depending on what month it fell. I don't remember offhand. You were like 8 years old. Okay. So you were 8. I was 3 or 4. Get this. John Kerry served in Vietnam 3 months longer than we did. Think about that. 3 months. He was in Vietnam for 3 months, got some crooked Purple Hearts. The guy told us, he says, I wouldn't sign any, but he was a big shot from Boston. You know, he knew the Kennedys, and he was, putting the pressure. So I signed it, and he shouldn't have gotten it. And he was running a racket. Anyway, thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Tom, Florida.
Yeah, Tom. Don't sound so excited.
Morning. Brian, with you every day. I'm excited. Good morning, Steve.
Well, I love exciting men. I tell you.
I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
Is that the whole clip, or is that just a piece of his whole speech?
Oh no, it's about it. I could play. No. Yeah, see, this is more of this, but you want me to play the whole 90-minute press conference? You want me to play 90 minutes of the press conference on the air? It's not put it in context. Put it in context for us, Tom. I already did. He said he was asked. Okay, so listen. He was asked a question. Zelensky was asked a question by a snobby reporter with a European accent, who said, "Do I have a European accent? Do I have a European accent? I'm a snob. Oh my goodness! If you think I'm a snob, you don't know what a snob is." So the reporter asked him, "See, you really don't want me to get this out. I'm putting it. The last thing you want is to put it in context." Well, it's hard to talk while you're whining and interrupting. The reporter asked him, "What would happen?" This guy's got a guest. He's a pest caller. The reporter asked Zelensky. What would happen if U.S. support for Ukraine ended. He gave a long-winded answer that took 12 minutes. And at the end, he said that American boys and girls would have to come to Ukraine and die.
Best. You just said it the best, Brian. He asked what would happen because Putin would be a dictator and go after.
Who cares? Let me tell you something. If Putin, I'm going to tell you this. If Putin, yes.
Anything else around you, buddy?
And yes, you're right. And if the president is listening, I'm proud of that. Yes, you were correct. Now, I'm going to tell you something, caller. You got a guest? He's a caller. If Putin, you love me, caller. You said that I excite you. You said you started your call by saying I excite you.
I sound excited.
Do you get a thrill down your leg listening to me like Chris Matthews with Obama? Listen, if Putin dropped, well, hey, it's your emotions, not mine. If Putin, hey, you're not the only man I've given shivers down the legs to. I promise you. You know, that's true. Steve will tell you. No, I just can't help it. It's just, I have that reaction on the gaze. If Putin knew, maybe, so what? There's lots of evil men around. There's lots of evil men around. There's an evil man. There's an evil man and a dictator running North Korea. I don't want to go to war there. If Putin nuked Ukraine, I would still be opposed to U.S. intervention.
Yeah, but okay, you ready for this? So if North Korea went down to South Korea and started murdering people, you think we should?
If North Korea went down to South Korea, how can North Korea go down to? They would have to go up to.
Fine. You're talking about two dictators. One, a sitting man who's sitting in his country not doing anything. Another going into another.
Kim Jong-un is not doing anything. Kim Jong-un is launching rockets over towards Japan all the time. No. He launches rockets to Japan. Do you know?
Saying is please have a little bit of respect when it comes to the Ukrainian people, and a little bit of respect, and don't respect Putin on what he's doing.
What are you? Okay. What are you doing to help? What are you? Excuse me, Tom. What? I know. What are you doing? What are you doing to help Ukraine?
Brian. And first of all, Brian, my situation on how I handle things, either I make a donation or I call this show and sit.
This call is helping Ukraine. If let me tell you, if your call is helping Ukraine, Ukraine's in big trouble. Other than talk to me, what have you done to help Ukraine? What have you done to help Ukraine?
I don't need to justify myself.
Oh, nothing. So nothing. You've done nothing. All right. Thank you for your call. All right. Listen, it's time for the Gold Report, Steve. We'll be right back.
Hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on the.
All right. And each morning at this time, we check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how the metals look today?
Metals looking good. Giving us holding right above that $1,830 number. Overnight we traded as low as $1,830 and as high as $1,839. Yesterday we saw gold close $1,836.80. Silver was up 8 cents at $20.96, while platinum gained $3 at $9.57, and palladium gained $22 at $1,352. This morning we see gold down about $4.
Oh, you want to end on a high, Michael?
30 cents at.
You want to end
$1,832.50.
I took the break late. You want to end on a high?
16 cents at $20.80, and platinum's lost $2 at $9.55, while palladium is down $12 at $1,340. So the markets are holding after rallying or taking testing that $1,800 gold and holding very well above that. Been rallying up into the 1840s, and now we're down to about 1832.50. So not too bad.
Let me ask you a question, William Youngerman. When it comes to gold and silver, is gold and silver, or should people be looking for like particular coins?
For the most part, the bullion coins that we talk about, it's just different forms that you can buy. There are a couple of reasons why you may want to own one over another, and those we discuss with our client. They come in.
Yeah.
And of course, you want to watch the premiums on the coins and the bullion and everything. So that's pretty much, you want to buy as close to the base price of gold, silver, or platinum as you can get, with a few exceptions.
Yeah, one other thing I wanted to mention, because you did yesterday, and this is something that's hot. You were talking yesterday that 90% silver, that this is a great time to buy 90% silver.
The premium has come down dramatically on that, which was well over $10, $12 over the price of silver a few months ago. Now you can buy it for.
Yeah, and I was asking you. I asked you many times about buying 90, and you recommended. You said no, just hold off on the 90% silver. And well, for those that took your advice, well, they're very smart, and now's the time to get in. William Youngerman opens up weekdays at 10 a.m. You can stop right in Boca. He's located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. Online at williamyoungerman.com, or give him a call. Again, he opens at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow. All right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, we are back. There's only one opening on the board where William Youngerman was speaking at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. So we found one person that agrees with you of going to war with Russia, an unhinged man who gets tingles when I talk. That's your support, Steve. You're doing good. All right, let's go. That's right. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
WilliamYoungerman.com. Yeah, Joellen, what's up? WilliamYoungerman.com.
I totally agree with you, Brian. I am sick of listening to these Fox News, Brian Kilmeade, especially one of them, about we need to go over there or we need to keep supporting this war. It is ridiculous. Look at how much money we keep funneling over there. What is going?
But Joellen, if we don't stop Putin now, next is Poland, then it's Brooklyn.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Please.
It's so obvious to me. It's just knowing Biden.
Let me ask you a question, Joellen. Now, Joellen, I'm going to ask this question to the audience too. If staying out of Ukraine, if we could stay out of Ukraine by simply just giving the big guy his 10% cut and spend nothing else, would that be worth it? If we could just pay Biden off and give him his 10% and spend nothing else, and he would stop this insane war, I think that'd be worth it. Because this war is all about the big guy's 10% cut, Pay off Biden. That's all Biden cares about is getting. Joellen, do you think Zelensky is a lot richer now than he was before the war?
Oh, of course. They're all crooks.
You know what it's like? It's like in the days of Arafat. Arafat was a billionaire. Remember his family lived in Paris? Arafat, while he pretended to live in poverty. That's what Zelensky is like. He's got Swiss and Cayman accounts filled with money.
He's got everybody wrapped around his finger. And, I feel sorry for the people over in Ukraine. I mean, what have they done? What have they done to have peace talks? And I heard
no peace talks.
No, he decided not to have these peace talks.
Well, if he has peace talks, Putin might want peace, and then the big guy can't get his 10%. What about that red phone that rings the Kremlin? Do they still have that?
Laundering business. That's what it is. And if people can't see that,
maybe we shouldn't have fought the Second World War.
That was different, Steve.
They didn't have power hungry as Zelensky taking his cut.
See, how much money do we need to? And you know what Brian Kilmeade said? What they said. Somebody called in and said, we can't keep giving all this money. What's the end game? And Brian Kilmeade said, well, it's coming out of the defense fund.
No, the defense fund. What does that mean?
What happens with our defense fund? I guess what
I'm going to tell you. Listen, when you're watching Fox News and you see you don't have to watch it to get what I'm saying. But when you watch Fox News or any of these others, and they have retired rear admirals and retired lieutenant colonels. These guys all work for the military-industrial complex, and they're doing infomercials to go to war, to get you into the war. This war is a lie. There's no reason. Watch Pavlo in Ukraine on YouTube with his bikini girlfriend. Steve, Joellen, thanks for the call. Pavlo in Ukraine on YouTube. He's in his mid-20s. He's in Ukraine with his girlfriend and his grandma. No, you don't see any. Why isn't he signed up? He's riding around on bicycles with his girlfriend in bikinis through Ukraine. They don't seem worried about the Russian rape gangs. Why is he not? And why is he not fighting? Why is he not in uniform? Pavlo in Ukraine on YouTube. I watch his videos. I don't see any war going on in Pavlo in Ukraine's YouTube video. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to ask people in this audience a very, very important question, and then we'll go back to the phones after this. But the question is this: do you or someone you know or love suffer from neuropathy? If you do, I don't have to tell you. It's torture. Steve had every neuropathy symptom there is. Yeah, and that includes numbness, pain, burning, tingling in the hands and feet, dizziness, muscle weakness, this feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet. Some with neuropathy have no feeling at all, or sometimes they have no feeling, then they got the pain, tingling, and then no feeling comes back. Neuropathy is torture, and your doctors will tell you there is no treatment. Learn to live with the suffering. That is not true. Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano not only has a treatment for your neuropathy symptoms, it works. It worked in Steve Kane and many people in this audience. Give them a call, and it's a no-charge consultation if you tell them you heard about them on the radio. If you can't make it to Pompano, that's okay. No matter where you're located, Lighthouse Medical Center can help. They're online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com, or give them a call, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642. Give them a call and say bye-bye to your neuropathy suffering. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Helen from Kansas.
Yes, Helen.
Hi. Well, scripturally, the Lord God does not want us to sacrifice our sons and our daughters for anti-Christian, communist, corrupt nations like Ukraine, Russia, China, any of them.
That's correct. Helen is right on the money. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian and Steve. It's Greg.
Oh, hey, Greg.
Good, Brian. Yeah. First of all, you brought up that tingling about sexual connotations with that guy, not that gentleman. Then you all of a sudden flip it on him. You're the one that brought up that you turn on homosexuals somehow, and Steve can corroborate that.
Yes, I do turn on gay men. That's correct. Have you ever do gay men fantasize about you too, Greg, or is it just me?
Just you.
Oh, I must be more attractive than you. There must be something about me. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure you're.
What about the women? Do women get turned on by you?
I hope.
You hope so? You don't know? You don't know? So you're not sexually attractive to men or women? Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear that, Greg.
Greg, I'm not gonna brag. It's called.
Oh my good. Now I understand. Now I understand. All right, what's on your mind, Greg? Now that we.
Do you believe we're like the leader of the free world?
We used to be. Not right now.
Are you not?
That is correct.
Well then.
China's the leader of the world right now.
Free world of the free.
Oh, there is no leader. There is no leader of the free world at this moment.
No, you better. What are they putting in that coffee of yours? We are the leader of the free world.
No, we were making America great again. Part of that is making us the leader of the entire world.
And you know what makes America great again? It's helping countries that are invaded by a bully like Russia, helping them and freeing their country. Do you just want to see? They would have been steamrolled if it wasn't for our help. We helped. And we're battling the war. You wanted us just to sit there and watch Russia steamroll them?
It doesn't look. If Russia was steamrolling them, they would have taken it like they did Crimea.
They're not steamrolling them because we're helping them.
No.
Stop it, Brian. Where would you say this is the country we want? It's Poland or whatever it is.
Steve, they're not in Poland. First off, they're not in Poland. They're not in Poland. If they attacked a NATO country, it's another deal. Ukraine, this is a civil war. Ukraine was part of Russia for a long time. This is a civil war.
Civil war?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? It's not a civil war.
Well, you know whose position that is?
Putin's.
Putin's position.
Yeah.
Oh, so Putin.
Oh, so you're taking Putin's position. Beautiful, Brian. Congratulations. Right, listen, the only reason you're against this is because Biden has a role, which God forbid I hated too, but we are playing a role of saving a country's sovereignty. They were a sovereign country, and they got invaded by Russia, and we're helping them. And just because Biden's involved, you can't take the stance, and that's the bottom line.
No. All right, hey, listen, thanks for the call. I'm not giving Greg a hard time today. I feel so sorry for him. No man nor woman wants to be with him. So I feel kind of sorry for Greg today, so I don't want to beat him up. I want him to feel like he won something, so he feels good for a moment. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh my goodness. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. This is Richard from Coral Springs.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, just a quick thing about this war. It's such a big propaganda. We wouldn't have a war if Biden just not signed in for the NATO.
Let me tell you why we have a war. Okay, this is why we have a war. Biden's family of bums blew all the money that he was bought off with from his whole time, and he's broke. And he's trying to set his family up financially for the rest of their lives. So we're going to war.
100%. But the thing is, if we don't allow Ukraine to be a part of NATO, Russia wouldn't even come close to that.
Correct.
If Trump was there, he would not like them.
Trump. So yesterday, President Trump told Sebastian Gorka he could end this in 24 hours, and when he's president again, he will. Listen, we're out of time. Thank you for your call. If you're on hold, we're out of time for today. We'll be back tomorrow. You are welcome to hold on until tomorrow morning. If you hold on, you'll be right at the front of the line tomorrow morning when we open up the mics at 6 a.m. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian Craig. If you miss a portion of the show, go to our radio station website, TrueOldiesFLA.com. At TrueOldiesFLA.com, each day, about an hour after the show, the entire show is uploaded as a podcast and archived there forever. So if you missed a part of the show or want to hear your call or play your call to yourself or your friends, TrueOldiesFLA.com. All right, everyone, have a great day. Take care. God bless America. And, of course, God bless the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. See you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
WWNN AM Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, I got to run. Thanks for watching. Like the video before you